Hello, this is Jiaying Zhang.
This is Yue Zhao.
Thanks for listening to our presentation. Today we are going to talk about the factors analysis and the future forecast of AUD and GBP. As you know, exchange rate has played an important role in the international trade, and it can affect the revenue of importing and exporting countries. Generally, there will be 6 factors that will give a significant influences on the exchange rate, such as relative GDP growth rate, interest rate, inflation rate, commodity price, and government intervention. Today we are going to discuss how these factors to influences the exchange rate and make appropriate forecasting for the future movements of AUD and GBP. The first topic I'm going to talk about is relative economic growth rate. By looking at the historical GDP growth rate for both countries, it is clear that Australia got a higher growth rate during the past. The chart indicates most time the growth rate for Australia is above 3%, while the UK is below 3%. And recently, Australia growth rate is about 2.5%, which is higher than 2.0% for UK. Hence, Australia got a higher growth rate than UK. By doing some research, it shows a positive relationship between GDP and exchange rate. It means if the country experiences a high growth rate, the investment, consumption, or government spending will be increased. It will result in a high demand of the home country with high demand of currency, and the currency will be appreciated. Hence, AUD will be appreciated against the GBP. Next one is relative interest rate. According to the graph, we can find that there will be a positive relationship between interest rate and the value of currency. Higher interest rate, higher value of currency. When the interest rate is higher, it will attract more foreign investment, increase the demand of currency. Refer to the currency demand and supply curve. The demand curve will shift from D1 to D2. The exchange rate will increase from P1 to P2. According to the historical data, the interest rate in both countries experienced a clear decreasing trend during the past 7 years. However, currently the interest rate for Australia is very stable, around 1.5%, while the interest rate for UK experiences an increasing trend, but it is lower than 1.5% for Australia. Hence, it is very difficult to use the interest rate to forecast which currency will be appreciated. It means if the interest rate for UK continuing increasing and is at 1.5%, GBP will be appreciated. If not, AUD will be appreciated.
Hi, I'm Yue Zhao. I'm going to introduce the relative inflation rate. For the past 6 years, it shows that the inflation rate for Australia experienced a decreasing trend, while the inflation rate for UK is very stable, and on average the rate is higher than Australia. Recently, Australia inflation rate experienced a negative growth rate, while for UK it has been reached at 2%. Through doing some research, it shows that when the inflation rate is higher, the purchasing power of currency would be reduced, and hence the value of currency would be depreciated. Also, international Fisher effects theory also suggests a higher inflation rate will depreciate the currency. In this case, AUD is evident to be appreciated against the GBP in the near future. The next one is relative commodity price. Australia is one of the largest exporting countries of agricultural products, particularly wheat and wool, minerals such as iron and ore, gold, and energy such as gas and coal. Hence, the commodity price would have a significant influence on the demand of AUD. However, the historical data indicates UK has a net import, which means the import is more than export. For the exporting country, when the commodity price increase, foreign buyers need more currency to buy the goods. Hence, based on the chart, the demand of currency will shift to the right and the price of currency increase to P1 from P1 to P2. For the commodity price in the past 3 years, the commodity price in Australia increased from 90 to about 140, while the commodity price for UK increased from 105 to 115. Hence, Australia got a higher growth rate in the commodity price than UK. Therefore, AUD would be forced case to be appreciated against GBP.
Now I'm going to talk about government intervention. Lastly, government intervention also has a significant influences on the exchange rate. For example, if Australia government want to increase the exchange rate of AUD and GBP, Australia government can sell other countries' currency and borrow other countries' money to buy AUD, and then the demand of AUD will be increased in the market, and hence increase its price. Moreover, RBA also can increase the exchange rate through increasing the interest rate by purchasing the government bonds to reduce the money supplied in the market. Also, this way can be used to manage the exchange rate. By doing some research, it indicates that RBA will keep a low 1.5% cash rate in the near future. But Bank of England also announced that they will raise the interest rate in May. So this would predict the GBP will be appreciated in this area. The next one is exchange rate of AUD and GBP. The graph shows that the past performance of AUD and GBP. The exchange rate is very stable during the past with a slightly decreasing trend by looking at the trend line of the line chart. Recently, the exchange rate experienced a slightly decrease from September of 2017 to March of 2018. This may predict the exchange rate will be continued decreasing in the near future.
To conclude, through the analysis of the 6 factors, the relative GBP growth rate, inflation rate, interest rate, and commodity price, suggests AUD will be appreciated against GBP. However, the past exchange rate also shows a decreasing trend in the past 6 months, and also the government intervention shows interest rate for UK will be increased. So it suggests GBP will be appreciated, but all in all, analysis indicate AUD seem have a higher possibility to be appreciated in the near future, since more factors to support the appreciation in AUD against GBP. And this is our reference list.
Thanks for listening.